Steamians, what is up? Dan at Starlight here. These are the 4 questions that I'm constantly asking myself when I'm trading Bitcoin to help me figure out how much money I should have in Bitcoin versus how much money I should have set aside to buy Bitcoin if the price goes lower. So now, I'm not a professional trader or investor, so please don't take this as professional advice. This is just my perspective and how I do things, so take it for what it's worth. Now, a lot of people will say you should just buy Bitcoin and hold it, you shouldn't trade it, and that might actually be the smartest thing to do long term. But unless you're in a coma, it's very, very hard to do that without your stomach absolutely turning in knots every time Bitcoin corrects like 50% or 30% or maybe even 90%, right? So holding is great fun when the price is going up, but it's not so fun when the price is going down, and can emotionally be a little trying, right? So again, unless you can self-induce a coma for the next 5 years, then you may want to keep adjusting your portfolio so that you're in a situation where you feel good about it. Again, might not be as good as holding, but it might be easier on your stomach over the next 5 years. So here are the questions that I ask myself. The first one is, which way do I want the price to go? Now, this might seem like a dumb question, but it's actually very pivotal to figuring out how much I should have in Bitcoin versus how much I should have in cash. If I really, really want the price to go up, then I'm probably over-invested at the moment. And if I really, really want the price to go down so I can buy more, then I'm probably under-invested, right? So what I want to do is, if I am like, oh, I really hope it goes up, then I should probably sell a little bit, so that I have some money set aside to buy more in case it goes down. Then I'm not going to hope it goes up so badly, right? So, and then vice versa, right? If you just sold a bunch of Bitcoin at like $3,000 and now you're really hoping it goes down to 15, if you're really hoping it goes down there, then you probably sold too much, right? Because the best thing is to be like, if it goes down, great, I've got that money set aside to buy a bit more. If it goes up, well, great, because I feel pretty good with what I'm holding, right? So you kind of want to balance those out, and just asking yourself that question constantly, which way do I want it to go? And then adjusting your portfolio so that you don't care so much. You're sort of happy either way. So then the second question I ask myself is, which way do I think it's going to go? Because if I really think it's going to go one way versus the other, then I'm going to lean more in that direction, right? And when I first bought Bitcoin, when it was lower, I was pretty sure it was going up, short-term and long-term. So it was easy for me to lean in that direction. But now that Bitcoin's gone up a lot this year, right? And it's hovering around $3,000, well, now I'm not so sure where it's going short term, right? It could go back to $1,200 or it could go up to $5,000. Now, I still lean a little bit towards I think it's going to go up now that we have this SegWit stuff being locked in. But I still really don't know. So I'm trying to put myself in a position where I've taken a little bit of profit so that if it goes down, I feel good because I can put that money back in. But I haven't taken out so much profit that I'll feel bad if it just keeps going, right? So, and that's the same. If you're just buying Bitcoin right now, don't go all in or all out at once, in my opinion, right? Of course, there's strategies like dollar cost averaging and that kind of thing. But the main thing is just make sure you feel okay, limp in, right? Make sure you feel okay if the price goes down, because then you can buy more, right? And make sure you spend enough that if it does keep going, you're happy with how much you have, right? So that's the balance you want to play. So the third and fourth question that I ask myself are, how would I feel if the price, doubled or went 10x overnight? Or how would I feel if it dropped by 50% or even 90% overnight, right? So how would those make me feel? And I play out those scenarios because both of those are always possible with Bitcoin, right? A bad, contentious hard fork and all of a sudden the price corrects massively, right? Or some huge exchange gets hacked and it goes down massively. Or, who knows? You could wake up and your own currency's been devalued by a massive percentage and all of a sudden Bitcoin's way up and on its way to becoming a world reserve currency or something. I don't know, you know, it might end up being the thing that backs everything. Those sort of shifts could happen very, very quickly. So you always have to be prepared for the fact that it could go to the moon or it could go to zero. So never go all in or all out. That's my advice on those issues. But in the middle area, constantly, you know, within reason, be adjusting your portfolio, especially after it's made huge moves. Because, you know, if you had bought Bitcoin a year ago, well, and let's say you put 10% of your net worth into Bitcoin, well, now it's probably more like 50% of your net worth is in Bitcoin if you haven't sold any. So you're going to be thinking differently about it, right? And you know, if you're just buying Bitcoin right now, well, you're probably going to have this same issue in 3 years, right? When Bitcoin's, you know, $10,000, $50,000. Now, I don't know any of this stuff. These are just, you know, what I think and how I approach it. So please keep all of that in mind. But again, probably the most important question is, which way do I want it to go? And then just adjusting my portfolio so I always have enough money to buy if it goes down, that I feel good, and I always have enough in my portfolio that if it keeps on going to the moon, I feel good too, right? So that's just my thoughts for today. Take it for what it's worth. Dan at Starlight. Peace out.